This podcast contains some magical adult language. Listener discretion is advised. And sorry, Mom.
I'm going to Disney World. I'm going to...
Whoa. You're not Mickey Mouse, you're a rat.
Rat smack! Besides, they're tourists. What do they know?
Welcome to Rat Castle, a progressive chat about Disney magic without the pixie dust. I'm Nathan Hartman, and with me today are two lovely rats, a couple of my favorite rats of all the rats in the world. Sarah, hello, Sarah.
Hello.
And Dave. How are you, Dave?
Yo, how you doing?
I'm doing well. So Victoria is currently being attacked by big bugs or Michael Myers or something. She's currently in Orlando at Hollywood Horror Nights. And then Janine is dealing with some studies. She's being an academic and desperately needed to get some stuff done, and we wish her all the best. All right, so let's get started here. We will begin over here on my. I'm now in the minority. I'm the only East Coaster tonight. Let me start with EPCOT. We'll start there and talk a little bit about EPCOT's big 40th anniversary, which is coming up here on October 1st. And oh my gosh, I tell you what, all of the stuff that's being planned for this, it's incredible. We've got continental breakfasts. We've got
Whoa, relax. That's too much already.
Calm down.
we've got photo ops. We've got merchandise. Well,
Yeah,
I think we
spirit
saw that coming.
jerseys.
Yeah, we saw
Yes,
that coming.
A spirit jersey.
Can somebody explain to me spirit jerseys in Florida heat? Can somebody?
No, I can't
don't
explain
get it.
to you much of any of this, and we'll talk more about the Epcot 40 merch line that we currently see.
Oof.
There are people who live here, and I know they're Floridians by heart and have been here a long time because they're wearing hoodies and stuff in the middle of like 85-degree weather. I don't get it. I've never been able to understand it. But that's their bag. That's what they're doing. So
Are the spirit jerseys that you guys have different than ours? Because I feel like the material is lighter in compared to like the Disneyland one.
well, Sarah, I've not wore a Spirit jersey, so I wouldn't know.
Because I bought the Disney World one and I compared it to the Disneyland one, and I genuinely feel like the material is different. But I don't know. I don't know if it's because the Disneyland one that I bought was like from the very first spirit jerseys that they put out, and maybe the quality just got worse. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, probably.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm
I'm not
hoping
going
for
to-
your guys' sake.
I'm not going to suggest that the current trend in this company is spend less on quality, but yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the merch that's dropped. We have long sleeve and some hoodies, but basically, if you remember Epcot 35, the designs seem a little bit like that. It's a lot of Epcot land symbol usage, a lot of figment. Basically, the concept as it's even was for the 35th, which has sort of been like, we'll use those symbols, but like we're not going to bust out a ham and eggs from Kitchen Cabaret or anything like this. Like, don't lose your heads, kids. Like figment and figment only is going to be on this stuff. It's cute. I mean, I'm going to be there on that day. Janine, I believe, is going to join me. But I mean, I probably won't even buy anything that day because if eBayers are going to suck up everything and it'll be whatever. I'll probably get a mug. That's what I always do. But what do you guys think of the merch?
I like the watch. I wouldn't. I already wear a main watch. I don't know if I'd buy another one, but I love the little watch with the logo on it. That was nice.
I liked it. It's like subtle. It's different.
Yeah.
I'm a weird one with Epcot though, and merch in general. Like I don't wear a lot of like Disney shirts. Like I'll tell you what, my first trip to Epcot when I was like 13. Okay, so we're talking 1983, 84, 13, 14. I bought like the VHS tapes that they sold. They had a little set of all the parks. 'Cause
Yes.
this is before YouTube, right?
Yeah.
I bought like the program guide for all the parks.
Yeah.
I bought like the dad polo shirt that had the little tiny Epcot logo on it.
Oh.
And I bought the tie tack of the Epcot logo. That's
Oh.
what mattered to me at 14.
I'd kill for that now.
The tie
I still have
wow.
it. I still have it.
Oh, that's lovely. I don't even wear ties that much, but
I know, right?
That's
I
so
never had a
good.
chance to wear it. I should just wear it as a pin.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, as you know, tie tacks are kind of considered the original pins. That's why we
Yeah.
had the lapel hole in coat jackets, so you
Yeah,
could add
yeah.
little flourishes.
But I was the weird kid. I was the weird kid who never bought like the colorful stuff or a toy or a T-shirt to
You bought the
brag that I
stuff that
went there.
matters.
To me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You did.
I dig it. I
the
dig
stuff
it.
that matters that you can use now. So
Like I would get like the coffee mug or the water bottle, maybe.
Yeah.
They're practical.
Sorry, do you remember your very first Parks merch purchase?
I don't, but I'm pretty sure it was probably ears. Like I
Mhm.
have a whole ears collection. Like I love the mini ears, even though they hurt my head half the time.
Sure.
So
You know, when you're a little kid though, like, and your parents say, "Here's your, your $10 or your $5, you get something."
Right.
When you're a little kid, 9 times out of 10, it's like the giant lollipops or a bag
Yeah.
of
Oh,
sour,
sure.
the
Yeah.
sour balls at Disneyland. They're not. Oh, sorry, that was my dog.
It's okay.
So when you're a kid and you get your $5 or $10, like you get candy, you get like the big lollipops, or you get the bag of sour balls. The sour balls at the Disneyland park, at least, they're not the same anymore because they're all homogenous across both all of their parks. But they used to like have very, I don't know if they made them. I don't think they made them there. I'm making up in my head that they made them there, but they used to be a little special. And but yeah, candy would be my first purchase at the Disney park,
Yeah.
most likely.
$10 an hour will get you one sour ball. So, things have-
Probably, or like 2 Crispies at like Marceline's or something, if you're
Yeah.
lucky. But yeah,
Dave, you
to
don't
me-
own a husky by any chance, do you?
Hey, you just went out. Sorry, hang on a minute. Pause.
No, go
Hold
ahead.
on.
It's fine. We'll keep going. This is
Yeah,
the
it's
content
okay.
people crave.
Ziggy, yes, my dog is the mascot for us now.
Yeah.
He's
Oh, I
he's
love it.
Podcast celebrities are just like us.
He's so cute.
Oh, it's a
Oh
boy.
my
You can follow
God.
Ziggy on
Yes, you
Instagram.
can. For the listeners who are not on this Zoom call right now, you can follow us, Ziggy on Instagram, Ziggy Stardog Husky, and he's a cutie. I call
He's
him
so
Barky
cute.
Barky Bark and the Funky Bunch.
Does he need to go out? You can take him out if you need
No,
to.
no, we just took him out. We just
He has things to say about the
He
Epcot
does.
merch.
He does.
He feels strongly. Like he
I
feels
get
very
it.
strongly.
feels very strongly about the Epcot merch.
Ziggy
Yeah.
knew that we were missing 2 people, and he just said,
He's
okay,
just filling
I'll
in.
just
He's our
join.
guest for this week.
Thank you, Ziggy,
Absolutely.
for joining us. My first purchase, I remember, was I was still in a stroller,
Mm.
and I still have it. And it was a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids picture book, like movie
Aw.
adaptation. picture book.
Oh, cute. Okay.
Yeah. So
Very on brand.
I love that movie. Very, very on brand. Yeah. If you look at my Zoom call currently, there's a very, very on brand. If I can do it. Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Huge movie
with-
poster of Honey, I Shrunk the
Featuring
Kids.
Roller Coaster Rabbit at the.
With Roller Coaster Rabbit is the preview. Yeah. So that's
did
an
you
original
play?
poster.
Did you play in the little playground, the little Honey I Shrunk the Kids?
You know
movie
what?
set adventure?
I did not get to go to that playground until I was in college, but I did get to go to it. So
You still played in it. Of
I
course.
still played in it.
I mean,
it's still
I did in my
mattered to me.
20s. So
Yeah. Yeah.
get away, kid. Slide's mine now.
Right. How do you guys feel about the colors of the merch? I
Uh,
don't know. They're not for me. Let me just say that. I don't really love the colors. I
No,
think
they're very.
boring.
They're very, but yeah, they're boring, but they're kind of on. They're doing the thing they always do. They're very on trend with
Mhm.
with kind of what the Gen Zers want. So it's this weird, like, hey, Gen Z catnip, wear this cool thing that the colors that you like that the kids love, but in the
Yeah.
style that your aging millennial parents might actually want because it's the
Right.
nostalgia that you don't have for the parks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's such
I-
a weird. It's such a weird mashup.
That's so true. I didn't even think about it. Yeah, like in that way, I don't feel connected to it at all. I don't like the
Yeah.
colors. The merch itself just seems very boring to me. Like it's not something that I would go out of my way to get.
The best things are the posters. Did you see the posters that they made?
I did
The
see
new ones or
posters.
the ones that they made for the preview center?
I thought they were new ones because there was one for like the new Moana thing. It was like old and new. There was like a bunch of an acknowledgement of old attractions and then a couple of the new things, and it was all in this very cool stripped down style.
Oh, that's I think most of those, probably the majority of them, were up at the preview center, but they've only been slowly releasing them, like one poster at a time, at like $60 a poster. Like
Right.
they've and the quality, I guess, has been kind of rough, printing wise. I know some people got them bent, so just be careful. They're great posters if you can get them though. They're really pretty.
Where can you
let's-
get them?
Usually it's usually online, the Disney Store online.
Oh, the Disney. Okay.
Yeah, because you can't buy them in the parks. That's what's weird too. You can't buy them in
Oh.
Epcot.
Yeah, they're weird. They're,
I mean, I guess it makes sense, so you don't have to carry it.
Yeah, they're limited. Well, people carry lightsabers around here, so
they're all done by the guy that does a lot of this stuff. Eric Tan, I think his name is.
I believe so.
He's
Yeah.
one of their superstar merch designers. He's really great.
So the merch is fine. You'll see it, all of it on eBay in about. It's probably already up there. Actually, there's photos, so they're already probably selling them off.
Already?
It's very possible. Let us talk a little bit though about the big D23 Gold member event. So what's interesting to me is when I moved to Florida, I would say I don't think it was the first time we went to Epcot after moving here, because I believe that was for saying goodbye to Ellen, and then we went over and said goodbye to Great Movie Ride. But it was the 35th was one of our very first Epcot trips when we moved here, and they had the merch and they had a D23 event, which we didn't go to, but they had I think Tony was there, Tony Baxter was there, and several Imagineers talking about stuff and all of that. So clock in 5 years later, and the D23 Gold member event this time around, which is let's see here, join D23 event. The celebration starts at 7:30 a.m. for a priority park check-in. Ooh, you get to park in the priority lot. So there you go. Enjoy free time to celebrate the 40th in your own way, including the opportunity to check out some of the new Epcot 40th anniversary merch at the Creation Shop. Okay. Then from 9:30 to 10:45, meet up with fellow Epcot lovers at World Showplace for a D23 member mixer reception with Continental
A
breakfast.
mixer.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
After that reception, though, explore the park for the rest of the day. Lucky you. Also, this is the best. This is worth all the money. Also, exclusive. I want to make this very clear. Exclusive to D23 event guests. You get priority entrance to one of Epcot's original attractions, Living with the Land, to use at your convenience during the day. You can go on Living with the Land anytime you want. You can go when there's a 10-minute wait,
Crazy.
or when there's a 20-minute wait, or when there's a 15-minute wait. Any of those times, you can go on it. You know, when it's really packed at 25 minutes, you can go right past the line. So don't feel like you can't do that. So you get, as we said, park admission. So you don't have to pay for parking. I guess that's great. Priority parking check-in. Ooh, priority parking. That's like $50 technically. $25 gift card to enjoy at Food and Wine. Thank you for handing me my money back. Exclusive event credential. I guess that's a lanyard. Living with the Land priority lane. Access for one ride during operating hours. There's no getting on and just riding as much as you want because you're a D23 member. You know, there's not like a D23 boat that you can just get on and like drink and keep doing the ride. No. An exclusive entry to World Showplace for that mixer. So there you go. That's all the stuff you get to do on the 40th. So D23 Gold members may purchase up to 2 tickets. Okay. And you have to provide your membership number. So you have to be a Gold member. Okay. And then I believe there's also a fee for this event. Yes, D23 Gold member tickets are $100. Actually, it's $99 plus $7 processing, so $106. So I've heard online, wow, this is a great deal because let's say you're a local, but you don't go to the parks. It's cheaper. This ticket is technically cheaper than paying, was it $25 now for parking, which is insane, plus the ticket. Like, you know, it is a good deal, I guess, except you also have to have a D23 Gold membership. So that kind of like, who is a D23 member and does not have AP? Like that doesn't, the Venn diagram has got to be very small. So I don't know who this is for. But thoughts? Are you excited, guys? A mixer.
Insert crickets noise.
I mean, it really got me with that Living with the Land one time priority lane. Like, I just feel like that's really what I've always wanted.
Yeah.
And that line is like so busy all the time that like just having that I think is worth the $100 to me.
I can't. For me, it's like, just give people Cosmic Rewind. What are you doing? Like, what? How? Who thought this was like what?
So is it like $100 and then on top of like being an AP, or can you be an AP and still do all these things? As long as you're a Gold member.
So from what it seems, you're a Gold member and you have to pay $100.
So you can't excuse your AP and then
There's
be
no
like, I'm a
discount
Gold
if you're
member,
an AP.
let me go in.
No.
Okay.
You just get them. You pay $100 for a mixer.
Yeah,
For a
who's
mixer
it?
and some food. And it's
Photo
like
op, I think they said.
Yeah.
But
What-
like you
and what's
said,
open
who's
again?
a D23 without an AP holder?
The shop is probably open a little early. You probably get early access to the merch, or they have a booth set up inside of the showplace.
So you're paying $100 for the to be able to shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mixer with continental breakfast. Oh my! Like
Dave is
But the mixer's
desperately
only for
looking
an
the
hour.
gold.
Only for an hour.
Yeah.
$100 for an hour,
100.
and then you get to stay in the park afterwards.
Yeah. It's your ticket for the day. That 100
Okay.
does include a ticket for the day, theoretically.
Is it
and parking.
just for Epcot?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure it's a single ticket. Single
I
day
mean,
ticket.
I can see why people would say it's like a good deal. I could see it. You know, it just feels like a joke.
But how much is a gold D23
Isn't
membership?
it like $100?
I think it's like $100.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm looking right now because
So-
I'm so desperate to go to this event, guys. I got to get myself that D23.
That priority line is so
Oh my
important.
God, it is $130, $100 a year or $130 for a duo. So again, it's for everybody. So if you're going to go with anybody, well, no, it says you can. Let's say, hold on, let me check this mixture one more time. It says you can have 2 people, right? But only
Mhm.
one ride for Living with the Land. So you can, I guess you can bring somebody to the mixer. So yes, that now costs you theoretically $200 for the. So you're basically paying for going to Disney.
It's
no-
madness. This is
It's
like,
madness.
It's not to drive new D23 memberships. That no one's going to do
Nope.
that, right?
No.
Oh
Again,
my
what is the
God.
Venn diagram of D23 people who don't have AP? Like, it's crazy. to
Can
me.
you come? Can you come in on? So you can't come in on an AP.
I mean, you can, but if you want to haul your ass to the mixer, that mixer is it's
It's
still
$100 for that mixer
Yeah.
for a continental breakfast
Yes.
and access to living with the land.
Yeah, and
And
you get to talk to
$25
Walt
gift
Head,
card.
I would assume, or something
Yeah.
for $100. For $100, they better let my butt go into the wonders of life, and they need to turn on Cranium Command for me. Just like, I don't know, Buzzy doesn't have to be there anymore, but just turn it on.
The zombie-like husk of Buzzy still giving the show. You know?
Whatever it takes. I mean, to put this again in perspective, like the 35th, you could be D23. You got to hear a conversation with Tony Baxter. You got to get a tour of Spaceship Earth. Okay. And then you got to watch the fireworks, which was a new show, if I remember. Well, maybe it wasn't a new show, but you got to watch the fireworks from a special place. This is
You know what's
this is
crazy though?
nuts.
People are still gonna buy it. People are
I
gonna
know.
go. Like
I
they're
know.
still gonna go. It's what are we gonna do about it? You know.
Well,
I hope you have fun at the mixer.
Ziggy says, "Don't go."
That was a good call, Zig. Good call.
We agree.
Yeah, we agree.
He's in consensus with all of us.
Well, let's talk a little bit about something else that happened recently. A funnel cloud. Some call it the finger of God.
Thanks, Bill
Almost.
Paxton.
Thank you. Giving my favorite performance anyone's ever given for a theme park ride.
He always had this weird stance in that it was like hand on hip, but he looked like it was very odd. Like his
Yeah.
body language in that whole clip was so weird. It
Well, you know the story behind that whole
yeah,
pre-show.
that
of
they're
course.
not right. That they hated each other and would not film together, so they're filmed separately. And that wasn't in Oklahoma, by the way. They filmed it at Pierce College here in LA in the Valley, which is
What?
it's the agricultural college, yeah, in San Fernando Valley. But yeah, they did not like each other after the experience of making that movie, and so for the pre-show, that's why they were on two different screens.
Yeah. This is before composite. We would have put them next to each other now. Yeah. So anyway, some people almost got to write it out at Epcot because if you get a look up Funnel Cloud at Epcot, Funnel Cloud Disney World, that thing did not touch down, but boy, did it look like it was gonna. It was quite the funnel cloud.
I had friends send me that a picture of that, going, "Oh my God, this is fake. Somebody made this
I
up." I'm
swore
like,
it was
no,
fake
no,
too.
no, no.
It looked fake.
And then I sent back the video, and he's a VFX guy. He's like, "Oh, that's fake." I'm like, "Buddy, trust me on this one. It's real."
But I mean, clearly there's not a lot of news here in the sense that a funnel cloud almost formed and touched down, and that's about it. But it did make us think about something, which is if a tornado could destroy one building at Walt Disney World today, just the finger of God coming down, laying itself on one building, which building would we all choose? Sarah, what did you think?
Okay, if I was a hater, I would pick the People Mover because we don't have that. But like, I would pick Mission Space. It needs to go, in my opinion. That ride's got to go. I'm so sorry. I know, but it just like it's a rough ride. No matter which side you go on, it's a rough ride.
Yep, I agree. Dave, thoughts?
Rainforest Cafe at Animal Kingdom. It is the most useless restaurant on the planet.
that's so
Why
true.
would anyone
true.
make a special trip to this giant restaurant outside
Huge.
the gates?
Yeah,
Ugh.
and kind of like hidden, really.
The worst
Yeah.
food too, by the way. Awful.
Well,
like
yeah.
that one.
Everything, yeah, all of them are not great, but that
All of
one
them
in
are
particular.
awful, but that one in
yeah,
particular.
on all of them, basically anything you order comes with a side of dust because it's shaking off of all of the crap over you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh, gross.
Oh man, mine's gonna be a little controversial, but I have my reasonings, which is I'm going to say Expedition Everest.
What?
Now here's my reasoning.
Okay.
They are never going to spend the money to fix that Yeti. But if
Alright.
half the thing is destroyed, they're going to reform it. They're not going to come up with something new. The plans are already done. The track is, for the most part, laid, right? A tornado just goes through. So if that tornado went through that mountain, they'd have enough reasoning to just fix it.
That's fair.
All right,
That's a good
fair.
one.
That's
It's
absolutely
practical.
fair. Practical, right.
I'm looking for the silver lining here,
Yeah.
which is clearly not in the sky because we got funnel clouds. So to finish, speaking of a thing that got gutted at Epcot, we have quite the Epcot news tonight. This was not because of a tornado, but the Cool Wash. So just so we're clear, this is not Club Cool. This is the Cool Wash, which is a thing that's sort of set near Test Track. It is it's been there a long time, and it's normally served drinks. So you could get like a slushy of some sort. Mostly manual. You kind of do it yourself and pay for it. It was very much a Coca-Cola sponsored area. And then Coke kind of left, but it's now just called Cool Wash, and the sign looks 100% like it's Coca-Cola, without saying it's Coca-Cola, because that's all they serve. But they seem to be doing something in this area. It seems that there's some sort of change going on, whether it's removing elements or whatever. There's been some signage removed. The interior's been gutted. So what do you guys think? Is Cool Wash, that's if you know this area, and I'm talking to West Coasters, so it's gonna be a little harder for you to picture, but there's Cool Wash, and then right next to it's this new kind of donut. Usually it's donuts, but it's a festival kiosk booth. But it's kind of a permanent one for what used to be called Future World. I have no idea where it is. World Celebration, who knows? And that's very popular. And Cool Wash is always the place you go to sit because nothing's going on there. So do you guys think this is going to just be stripped of all its cool? Because it had a car with people drinking, like kind of like test track mannequins drinking.
Yes, right. I remember that.
Yeah.
So all that got stripped away, and then there was just tables put in there. Do you guys think this will stay as Cool Wash, or is this just going to become a shaded area? Or, I mean, they've ripped up the ground and the wall, and they seem to be doing a lot. So what do you guys think? Is this gone for now? It's currently just temporarily unavailable on the website, but it does look like
more seating for connections.
Interesting. It's
Because
a little far.
It's a
from
little
connections.
far, but they're devoid. They need more outdoor seating in general for food. So maybe it's that. I don't know.
Well, that kiosk has been doing for this festival fries. So they've been doing different types of fries. And
I
you can
saw
get
those. They look so good.
They were very good.
Oh my God.
But not a lot of places to sit. So there's a lot of standing. So I'm wondering if this is finally just getting the final overhaul of just becoming a shaded area.
I hope so, because more shade in Epcot is tear everything down if it means more shade. Like, take it all. Like, bring me trees and shade and a place to sit. I hope that they're doing something, because it looks like that much stuff that they're working on. They wouldn't just keep it like a drink stand, you know?
Yep, that's Cool Wash. We'll keep you updated on. You can see how much news there currently is. We're talking about Cool Wash. In the arms of the angels. KiteTails, our beloved KiteTails, is ending this month at Animal Kingdom. So as you all know at this point, even if you're not from here, the meme lords do love themselves some KiteTails. So KiteTails, of course, is the jet ski, shoot up a Baloo or a Simba, kind of, I don't know how to call them. They're not balloons. They're like self-inflating
kites.
I mean, I guess they're kites. Yeah, they don't look like they
they
so
the
much
same thing
don't
as,
look
like-
like kites. You don't think about them as kites.
Right.
Aren't they
and
like
then-
the parade floats that they have for like the Macy's Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
float?
Oh, yeah, but not. But
What would
not
you call
as-
those?
Well,
Blimps.
inflatables, but these
Yeah.
aren't really. These are like a hybrid. They're shaped. They're big 3D shapes, but they require the air. They don't like blow them up and then run around the
Yes.
lake. They require
Oh.
the movement. Yeah, they require. That's just why they're so derpy. Like they
Yeah.
require the movement of the jet ski to sort of fill it up and keep it going.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is
look,
why
I-
they can turn real quick and yeet
Yeah.
Baloo over into the
Yeah.
area that's like closed off to audiences,
Or-
and he just lands on his face.
Or make Simba look like he's having a stroke or something,
Oh,
right? Like
boy.
it.
Oh yeah,
Like I commend them because, to be honest, that kind of thing is I can show you 20 pieces of concept art I've worked on over the last 30 years of nighttime water spectaculars going, yeah, let's put in kites. It's like it's the kind of thing you really want to work because it's cool.
Mhm.
I don't know if it quite does.
Well, here's the thing too. They did some kites in Epcot Forever, and the Epcot water, I don't know what you call it, a lagoon? I don't know. It's big enough that they have some room.
Right.
Animal Kingdom does not
Yeah.
have the space. So they're
Yeah.
basically doing a circle the entire time. There's no straight path for them with these.
Yeah.
So the kites are always just about to hit trees. Like they're always swinging to the side. And you're usually sitting in the middle of the day, and there's no shade in these, because all of this was put together for the night show, and they were never planning to do anything during the daytime. And like the sun just beats down on this area.
And it's like concrete steps that you're sitting on, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's probably it might be the least comfortable seating anywhere for a nighttime show in Disney property. I think it's very possible. I guess the other option's like a street. You're actually just literally sitting on the street. But
just fill it and make a new land, please. Just fill it.
yeah, well, I love the boats. I do love the boats that go around now and characters wave, and it does
Yeah.
bring a lot of atmosphere, but it is a weird, they've never been able to figure out what to do with that spot, period.
And neither of the shows were okay, but neither of them were like, a home run out of the park.
No, they were Las Vegas light. They were, yeah.
I just think it's funny that people I don't know if they're being for real, but are like actually talking about genuinely missing this show on Twitter, like genuinely like saying, "Oh no, R.I.P. KiteTails." Like, are you guys for real? Like, do you really miss the show, or has it become
That's
such
the
a
internet,
meme
though.
that
It's
Yeah.
the long tail. It's the long tail of the
Yeah.
internet. There's going to be a fan
The
of
long
like,
kite tail of the internet.
I see what you did there.
Thank
But
you.
there's going to be like a trash can they take out, and people are going to post about it. R.I.P.
But I think this one
Unironically.
just became it's that it's unironically it became something that people loved.
I mean,
over time.
what's more postmodern than like people liking a crappy thing from Disney? You know, like
Yeah.
you know, we've flirted with this in the past with little Disney things like weird parades or you know, maybe we look back at something from the 90s and we're like, "Wow, can't believe they did that." You know, but whatever. You know,
Like
there's a
the
little
Kate
bit with
Castle.
sure, or
Right.
like
Kate Castle, Light Magic.
Castle is a great example. I might throw Dinosaur in there a little bit. I love Dinosaur like genuinely, but like you know the video is very 90s. You know, there's a vibe. I mean, Bill Nye's in it for crying out loud. He's in the pre-show, so but Ellen's was maybe a little bit like this, but this is something different. This is like it was a failure from day one. You know, I can't think of
It's
many
such a perfect
things.
metaphor though for Disney, for like the Disney
Yeah.
company right now. It's the perfect metaphor. Something that looks pretty and shiny in front of you, and in actuality, it's a flop.
But actually, it sounds like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. Yeah. But you know what would have saved KiteTails is a continental breakfast, I think.
Yeah, and a mixer. A mixer was definitely needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a character meet and greet.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? They did have some pretty festival stuff. Like they had like banners that kind of had like lanterns on them that looked like the characters that were being made into kites. And they were really pretty, and they had these kind of like extra stuff. And then, like for some reason, 6 months in or whatever, they just stripped it all away. And you're like, okay, this is the end. Like,
Womp womp. Yeah.
we've been knowing this was happening for a while.
I'm surprised it happened so fast, though. To be honest, like I would have given it maybe another year before
Yeah,
they fully
I
pulled the
wonder how
plug.
long it's been officially up.
Less than a year, right? Like,
Man, well, it's went through so many changes. Soft opening was September 29th of 2021.
oh,
So we
almost
will be
a year.
almost exactly a year. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you believe it?
It's a
Dang,
very short
RIP.
list of things that have not lasted a year, you know.
Yeah. It's really hard for me to even think of what else has had that kind of reputation. Huh.
Light Magic.
Light Magic.
Halix. Halyx.
Yeah.
There's a documentary about it, and it's fascinating. Like
Okay.
unironically too. It wasn't bad. It was actually really cool and
Yeah.
weird and a big gamble. And it lasted like one summer. And I wish I had seen it. I was a
Oh,
little
and
too
it's on
young.
YouTube. Okay.
Yep. It's
Oh,
on
it's
Fun
great.
Plans channel.
I'll watch
Yeah,
it.
It's great. How long was Rocket Rods?
I think about a year.
Okay. well, there
Yeah,
you
New
go.
Tomorrowland in general. Yeah. Oh, Superstar Limo.
Oh, that's a
Ooh,
classic
yeah.
example. That was a day one. Yeah.
And there are people who like made
Stands.
t-shirts when
Stand.
they changed it. Right, the
Mhm.
total stands. When they changed it to Monsters, they came and mourned it. I'm like, okay.
I mean, there are people who are younger than me that wear shirts with Superstar Limo on it. I'm like, you weren't there. How can you? You never saw.
Just old DCA in general, a fever dream. Like
Yeah.
I want to see. I wish I was there to have seen it.
Antonio Banderas and Melanie Griffith's marriage was interlinked in a ride. And like, you know, you knew
Yeah.
it was over when the ride went. You were like, well, that's the end of that.
I was there opening week.
Speaking of Disneyland and California Adventure, Dave, you have some good news and some interesting news.
Yeah.
What's going on over there on the West Coast?
This one, I don't know if I'm so excited about this one.
Are we not going to get a
Matt-
live review of the Magic Band Pluses coming to Disneyland?
You might.
Well, later on a future episode, perhaps. Is the podcast going to pay for my $30 Magic Band?
Good God, no.
Good God, no. From that vast pool of production resources we have.
Yes. Sponsored by Casper. No, yeah.
Hey, any sponsors out there want in on this?
Yeah,
Let
if you
us
want
know.
in,
Right?
we're here.
We're down.
We just
We are
want a magic
whores.
band.
Yeah.
That's it. It's pretty cheap for
I
a
mean-
sponsorship.
Look, as somebody who, followed the development of that, I didn't work on any of the Magic Band stuff, but I remember, like, I talked about it in professional presentations I gave 4 or 5 years before they came out because it had been rumored what they were going to do. And so for the industry really followed it in terms of what is it going to mean, and big data as applied to a place and not just like your online activity, like what can it do? And we all know it's like, they're fine. They add a little bit to the experience in some cases. I'm very excited to try the Galaxy's Edge overlay that uses the new ones. That might be fun, and maybe it makes that game a little better, actually. But I'm not excited about having to spend $35 for it. I don't know. I have, as someone who owns I have like 25 or 30 Magic Bands from Florida, just because every time I win, I would end up either being given one or getting one with my ticket.
Right.
and I'd always forget to fly there with it, so I couldn't use the same one. So I got this stupid
that
collection
was the
of too many
point.
of them. You're right,
Yeah.
and then of course, you know, I bought the Haunted Mansion one and the Tron one because I'm a sucker. But meh. Did I ever find any convenience out of them? Not really. I personally no. I mean, if you're staying in a hotel and your kids can charge stuff on it, I see the benefit for a family, but especially as a pass holder, like I don't know, I got my phone, it does the same thing.
But Dave, you'll now get to wave at something and it will play a tune for you.
We won't though. We don't have stuff like you guys. We
They'll
don't have
give you-
the statues or
They'll
whatever.
give you golden idols, I'm sure. Don't worry. It's coming.
Well, like I think the big one that they're touting on the announcement is the nighttime spectaculars that they're going to light up in color. It's because
And
we
bounty
all
hunter.
want to
you
look at
looking
our
at the
wrist.
sky.
Because
Yeah, like,
we all want to look at our wrist while watching the show.
Yeah. But and Bounty
Yeah.
Hunter at Galaxy's Edge. That's the other big
Bounty
one.
Hunter, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've
From-
watched that in
Mhm.
person, and if you like to walk around and hear beep boop on your wrist, and
I
then
was
it
just
tells
gonna
you
say that it's like a hot and cold type of thing, right? Like
that's
it's
100%
not.
what it is.
Yeah, like it's. I mean, I'm gonna buy it regardless because I'm a sucker for this type of stuff. I
And-
am,
Yeah,
and
you're
I've
the
always
problem.
wanted. Yeah, I am the problem, and I own it. I own it. You know, I'm a consumer. Okay, I am that person. I'm gonna spend the $35 regardless in the parks. Might as well buy a cute little
It's
accessory.
valid.
Yeah. But I feel like for me, I already forget to charge my Apple Watch and my Fitbit. What makes me
Right.
think that I'm gonna charge my Magic Band? Like it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's kind of like my thought process on it. I think it'll just be something that it's a cute accessory, and maybe if
It
like
will
they make
still
it
work.
into it'll still work, yeah. But
it'll do
then
the
it's,
bare necessities, as it were. So
yeah. I just don't like how it's so bulky for something that is probably going to be dead half the time.
And
Yeah.
In my
again,
case,
they could easily have a Disneyland app for your Apple Watch.
yeah, like
The
a wallet.
Lit-
The
that
wallet.
literally does the same
Mhm.
things. I can
Mhm.
I can use it in Walt Disney World. My watch was my ticket. I didn't need a
Yeah.
Magic Band.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's so crass. It's such a crass demonstration of what kind of margin can we make on this little thing?
Mhm.
Because that's really what it's for. This is for making more money. It's not for guest convenience at all.
Well, the new Pixar hotel retheme is not. They're not going to redo the doors so you can use your Magic Bands on them. Or I mean, is that already set up there? Or probably.
I don't know.
not.
I don't know.
I don't think it is. But people were talking about how is this going to work in terms of the turnstiles? Because in Disney World, you guys have like all the touchy
Or
stuff,
touching,
but we
yeah.
don't have that here. So how's that going to? Are they going to
I
like
mean, for your sake,
install-
I hope they redo the system.
I don't know how they're going to do that.
I would say our system's a little messy because the fingerprint stuff, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
if they strip
Nasty.
that
They won't
away,
do that
it's
here.
not horrible. So I
It's
don't
still going to
know.
be the same thing. It's going to
Yeah.
be through the phones. I mean, like I said, if they make it into a collector's thing where like say every month they come out with like a new one or they have cute ones, I'll probably buy it. I'm sorry, consumerism
That's
got
all
me,
right.
capitalism got me, but
We
I'm
know
a
you're
sucker for
basic.
cute
It's
things.
okay. It's
Yeah,
all right.
I
You like-
am. I
you like
am.
it.
I've wanted
You're
Magic Bands for
basic.
so long. Like I've
Yeah.
wanted them forever. If you guys have had them,
I-
okay,
Who am I kidding? I'm gonna buy one too. God damn
right?
it.
We're gonna buy it. It's okay, Dave. We'll do a
Be
review from
real.
the park.
Okay.
We'll do our
We'll have
review.
special little minisodes of the two of us.
Oh, man, I
Little
love that.
minisodes of us
Yes.
at Disney from West Coast Represent. We'll call
Feel
it.
free.
I love
always. The more the only way we'll get sponsors is more content. So sure.
Bet. All right, we'll be in the parks.
We'll start the Rat Castle TikTok account and
Feel
Right.
Oh, I
free.
love that.
Do it.
let's start it
Do it.
We're
tomorrow.
gonna do it tomorrow.
Do it.
We're done. Okay,
done.
we
We're
got
doing
it.
it tomorrow.
We're
We're
doing
doing
it.
it tomorrow.
Great.
Okay.
Done.
Let
Okay,
me
cool.
know if you need, I don't know, logo stuff or whatever. I
All
like
right.
this. My social media team. All right.
Our vast Rat Castle empire.
Look at us.
All right.
Speaking
so,
of things that are scary in a different way.
Oh.
Yes, across the Esplanade to California Adventure, we are gearing up for. It's actually started the Oogie Boogie Bash, our version of a Halloween event out here, which I have been to once and I really enjoyed. But I think the big thing about it that they've sort of centered on, I think they did this in Florida too, is just realizing they can roll out all these villain characters that they don't normally have in the park. So it becomes like this mad dash of a million photo ops with like Mother Gothel and Madame Mim and this year it's like they're adding Bruno and Ernesto de la Cruz from Coco. Did you see that?
He's
that
a, looks
makeup?
So
amazing.
cool.
Oh, I'm hoping to see that. Well, no, he's only at Boogie Bash. He's not at regular day admission, is he?
Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good. The and it's typical Halloween stuff. There's candy trick or treating. There's Halloween versions of shows. There's the Halloween version of the Tower of Galaxy. No, I can't even brain tonight. Guardians of the
Breakout.
Galaxy Mission Breakout. They do
Yeah.
the monsters at night. Have you done that version?
I have. It's really good. I like all
great.
the metal music. It's so
Yeah,
good.
I actually
it's
like it
different.
better.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's actually scary. Yeah.
It's actually really great. It's really
Yeah.
freaky.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's here and looks like a lot of fun. I mean, I think it's a better event than, frankly, I like it better than what they used to do with Mickey's Not So Scary, because that always felt to me like it was really aimed at families with little ones. And not
Yeah.
that that's a bad thing, but it just didn't appeal to me. And then when they stopped doing like the custom parades and nighttime shows that were only at that party, and they showed them at the regular day, it was like, well, why am I going to go just for free candy? This feels like, oh no, there's like 5 or 6 things here that I
Yeah.
would really want to see.
Yeah, I mean, Magic Kingdom still kind of does the family thing. Like
Right.
we're pretty stuck. We now and they get like Sanderson sisters and stuff show. I mean, there's some stuff, but it's pretty standard. I feel like Oogie Boogie the last couple of years that it's been around, like it's always done something interesting. It's always, like having Sid be one of the villains. That's like that was great, and it's
Yeah.
he's there this year again, and
Yeah.
like bringing out. I mean, we're talking. I mean, Bruno, okay, yeah. Ernesto, okay, yeah. But like Madame Mim is a
Madame
like,
Mim from
that's
Sword,
that's
from a Sword in the Stone. What?
yeah. So I like that kind of like there's a level of understanding their audience. It feels like a locals festival opposed to kind of the general.
Yeah.
It's Halloween. Here's some candy that we get down
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So.
I do love the while I'm not a huge Hocus Pocus fan, I do love the Mickey Mouse, Daisy Duck, and Clarabelle Cow versions
They're
of the
Yeah.
so
Sanderson
cute.
sisters.
Yeah.
That's freaking adorable. So, and I actually kind of like that better than having look or sound alikes in as face characters. It's just cleverer to me.
Interesting.
I think the only thing about Oogie Boogie is the lines. The line situation is kind of rough because they mix
It's
the
rough.
treat trails with the meet and greets,
Yeah.
and sometimes those can go for an hour. So you don't really get to do a lot of things during the event just because of the lines. But the things that you do get to do are actually pretty cool and different, and you won't see them every day in the parks.
Yeah.
So it's overall a really cool event, and the merch is just great year after year.
Yeah.
They've killed it.
Did you see
I would wanna go.
Donald Duck as a piece of candy corn?
That's the
No,
big
I
one this
didn't
year.
see that.
It's a
the
little
big one.
popcorn or candy bucket, and it's Donald Duck wearing a costume, looking like he's a piece of
How
candy corn.
cute.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But very cute.
Once
are they
again,
doing
capitalism got us.
are they doing are they doing the Villains Grove thing again? That walkthrough that takes over.
They do it every year, yeah.
At the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail. That's
Yeah.
fantastic, by the way. That was my favorite thing in the whole event. It was just so much care was put into that. It was like, you've seen these nighttime forest attractions, Forest Illumina, and all this stuff around the world where they take like botanical gardens. There's one here in California, Enchanted, at the Descanso Gardens, where
Yeah.
they take a botanical garden, they overlay it with like nighttime stuff, and they usually do it around Christmas or Halloween or whatever. It's that, but with villain characters in each section, and it's really,
And it's actually
really
spooky
well done.
and like
Spooky,
fog
yeah,
and so much going on. Like it's such a smart idea too, because it keeps the flow of guests. Like it makes the park, even though it's really busy during the event, there's still like guests in every little pocket of the park. It keeps it like free flowing.
Yeah.
So I like it. I think it's a really cool event.
Nice and spooky.
Mhm.
Spoopy.
Spoopy. Oh, cute.
Spoopy. Yeah, and then so also related to the parks, but this is on the corporate side of things. We love to see it when Disney files a new patent for something, because patents become public domain and they're easy to find, right?
Yeah,
So we don't know how they're going to use it, but they're going to use something cool, and they filed a patent for a glasses-free VR attraction. And if you haven't seen it online, the diagram basically looks like a ride vehicle with sort of a windshield in front of you that slants forward, and that's a reflection plane, much like you would have in Haunted Mansion for the ballroom scene, like a Pepper's Ghost gag. But instead of reflecting a physical object, it's reflecting a projection in stereo, in left and right 3D, matched to the eye line and head movements of each passenger.
Yeah,
So
which is
evidently,
nuts.
which is nuts. It's able to track multiple people. As a matter of fact, I think it reads somewhere that it can track like up to 100 people at a time or something, and render out that view so things work in perspective, and the perspective shift changes for each viewer. And that's
And each
the limit-
vehicle, yeah.
and
like,
each vehicle.
right.
It's why you haven't seen a lot of like, I mean, my shorthand for it is video Pepper's Ghost, which is where you can reflect a video screen into that glass. The problem with that is it's not really dimensional. It's
Right.
not out in the room. It's only it's the math of those things work that whatever the reflection is, it has to be the same distance away to make that reflection as it is the
Right.
distance you want it into the room, which is why when you go through the ballroom, like the people spinning around on the dance turntables are literally underneath your vehicle.
Yep.
And the guy up in the chandelier is literally above your vehicle, because they're in the same dimensional space. And because they're dimensional objects, all that happens just automatically in the reflection. If you
Yeah,
do that
when you're
with a
talking about the
video
video, when you're talking about the video kind, examples for people would be both the Harry Potter pre-shows. I think all 3 of the Harry Potter pre-shows
Yeah,
do
right,
this.
right.
Disaster used to do it with Christopher
Yeah.
Walken. I think
That's
really
a-
Universal is the one who sort of said,
Yep.
we're going to use this, but it
Yeah.
only kind of works because they're pre-shows. You're not going anywhere. It's
Right.
always a straight view.
Single eye line, you're not moving around. the technology behind it is weirdly it's patented, and it's what they patented is the actual screen surface. It's called Musion, Musion, and if you can look it up online. But what they patented it was it's actually film. It's like food grade saran wrap, like really durable, like the kind of film you put on helicopter blades to protect them, right? And so it's the tensioning system that holds that in place, so it doesn't have to be glass, and therefore it's a lot easier to integrate into things. But yeah, the Harry Potter pre-shows do it, and the characters that you see in that walking around are on one single left to right horizontal plane. They can't step forward or back. If they do, they'll look like they're becoming giants in the same spot on stage, and if they step backwards, they look like they're tiny in the same spot on stage. So the actual depth of that equation hasn't really been cracked until this patent. And so for a designer like me, this is catnip. I look at this and go, wait a minute, what? Because you can use game engine generative images and make something like, you know, web slingers that literally looks like it's mapped into a physical space. Matter of fact, I thought when I saw web slinger vehicles, I thought it was going to be a transparent LCD. You know how they have, remember 3D TV a couple years ago?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be those. You put on glasses, it uses that panel, and so when you would fling, your webs would be in 3D over either real sets or another projection. That's how I assumed it was.
And to be honest, the patent looks like the web slinger.
Yeah,
like,
very much so. Yep.
Like seating. So
yeah.
Some people are saying that it might be used for the new ride in Avengers Campus, because that's also screen based.
Yeah, it is. It could be, especially if they're going to make that interactive somehow, or branching paths or something. Yeah. Imagine like
that's pretty cool.
Pick the Avenger you want to follow in the you're teamed up with, and they're talking to you, but they're not talking to the person next to you. Like that would be kind of cool. I have no idea.
It's like Horizons, like select out of these three majority rules.
Right.
And when I think about this, I look at like Pandora. They do on Navi River Journey this kind of, and they're using it for the new Peter Pan ride, and I can't remember. It's international, but they showed a little clip from it.
Disney Sea.
Yeah. Okay. See, they're doing this sort of depth, multi-layered depth technology that you kind of see, which sort of gives you like there's physical stuff and then like layering. So I imagine doing this plus layering in the background, you could do quite an effective scenario. You could have things shift planes pretty simply from literally being in the background to being thrown kind of towards you and then back or whatever too. So I don't know. I'm all for cheap 3D tricks. So give me.
I mean, you know, you see these patents. It's like, don't expect this anytime soon in the parks. But if they've gotten this far, they have a working prototype for sure. You know, and it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's nice to see one where you kind of go, yeah, this actually feels like it'll be something. Some of these you get and you're like, I don't know, it's a gear. All right, they're gonna. It's a new way to flip a track. All right, but this is more interesting for sure. Moving on to a little bit of Disney film and TV. I think we will get some opinions from our currently not here guests when they come back on the panel. Not guests, rats. I wanted to say. I don't know why I said guests. Ziggy, does Ziggy have any thoughts on Andor?
No,
Ziggy has lots of thoughts.
He's sleeping.
So
he's dreaming.
All three of us, Sarah and I, watched all 3 episodes of Andor, and then Dave, because he has a life, watched only one. Thoughts? What do you guys think of Andor?
I really liked it. I think when you look at the lineage of it, it's the guy that wrote the Bourne movies, and he wrote and directed the fourth one. And Michael Clayton, which is incredible, right? Which is an amazing movie, right? And so, like, you know, I knew going in it was gonna be. Everybody said it's sort of dark and gritty and a little more serious. And there's not really any fan service. It's not really connected to the narratives, you know, other than Rogue One. So I was prepared for all that, but in my head, I'm like, they're not going to go too far. This isn't going to be like, you know, Breaking Bad on Star Wars. It's not going to be something like that. But then in the first 5 minutes, I was like, oh, well, there's a little of that. Spoiler alert. There's somebody is killed in cold blood on screen in front of you in the first 5 minutes. And you realize, oh, this is not like fantasy pew 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 space wizards. This is
This is where
politics and
we're an
spies
actual
and-
guerrilla resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great. I love it. Feels more lived in than anything. I like, I loved Mandalorian. It's fine. The shows have been fine. This one, I was like, oh, I'm gonna dig this
Mhm.
because I can sink my teeth into it. It feels lived in. The characters feel fun. What do you guys think?
Sarah?
I liked how it felt different because it was like I understand that people didn't like the fact that it's not really connected to the other story, but for me as a not so Star Warsy person, it's nice to have something that I can kind of finally jump into and have an understanding of from the very beginning. My
Yes.
dumbass didn't know that it was connected to Rogue One, so I went into it and I was like, oh my god, this character looks very familiar. Where have I seen him before? And my partner's sitting there, he's like, remember he died in Rogue One? And I was like,
Yeah.
why would you tell me that he died? Like now I'm less invested. But anyways, so
Well, the
but
show, I will make a point on that. The show has
Yeah.
done a good job so far for having me care about or at least be interested in characters
True.
that aren't him. Not that I don't care about him, but we already know his fate. So
Yes.
Right.
there is no way to make us. It's like when you see anybody from like Luke or whatever in Mandalorian, and you're like, oh, I know, like he's like not going to show up another.
Exactly.
We know how
Yeah.
this
Right.
works. We know the
Like
story.
Bix, for example, like I want to know more about her. I want to know how they know
Mhm.
each other and like their whole storyline. I just thought it was funny that guy's name was just Tim. Like just like
Yeah, Tim with two M's.
Yeah,
I was like,
but
oh,
not where
okay.
you think.
Yeah, like, oh, all right.
It's
Um,
Space Tim. Tim
Wow.
with two M's.
Exotic Tim. So I really liked the way that they were using a lot of practical sets, and it just felt like
Yeah.
very big. Like I saw you tweet out, Nathan, that it feels like a show, and I was like, yeah,
It's a
it does.
show.
It
Yeah.
just feels like
it's
a real show.
It's
Yeah,
it
and
doesn't it doesn't feel like a Disney Plus show at all.
yeah.
No.
It feels
It
like a
really doesn't.
Hulu show.
I mean, the opening shot is walking through a red light district and seeing sex workers.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
if you didn't, I mean,
Yeah.
okay, it's not X-rated or even R-rated
No.
or even PG-rated, but if you, the context of what you're looking at is like, oh, this is a
It's the
side of Star Wars
acknowledgement
I've
of
never
sex.
seen. Right, right.
I was just gonna say that in the second or third episode, I'm not gonna spoil it, but there is like some sort of like it's a little spicy. You're like, whoa,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Star Wars. Hold
I
on,
mean, I don't mind
like
saying,
I've
like,
never.
Like Tim gets it. Let's just put it like that.
Nice.
Like,
Yeah,
Tim
I'm
gets
not
it.
gonna lie, who gets it? But
He
yeah,
gets
like
it.
I was just not expecting it
It's
to
that extra
be
M.
not the extra M.
Yeah,
But,
extra M and Tim really does it.
yeah, the
Little
extra M really
ladies.
does it for people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really did like that it felt really big and grand,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like, and then the whole other planet, Canary, like having that kind of enter in. I just like that we're seeing different environments other than the sand planets that we've seen for the past like 3
Right.
years. So
Well,
I really like it.
100%. And I think the reason it looks so, it's the best looking thing since Rogue One. 100% from Star
Mhm.
Wars,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
without question. And
Yeah.
the reason for that is they didn't use the systems that's been used on Mandalorian and the rest of those shows, which is their I'm blanking on the name all of a
The
sudden.
virtual set, the virtual
Yeah,
stage.
not the Void, because the Void was a VR thing. But I always
Yeah,
do
no,
this. I always call it the Void, and I'm like,
no,
that's
it was
not
called
what it is.
the Expanse. No, that's another show.
It's called the Volume. That's what
The
it's called.
volume. That's
Yeah.
it. The volume.
So the Volume
think
is their digital set system, and it's
Yeah.
cool. It's very cool. I don't have a problem with it, and I think it works for shows. But it feels like set dressing. My brain has already been able to go like, okay, like I can, like dimensionally, I can feel the difference. And then you say like, okay, no, we're just going to shoot this, and then we're going to add stuff into it.
Right, like there's definitely
totally different.
digital set extensions and stuff
100%.
happening, and it's like crazy, like lots and
Yeah.
lots of it. But the what they are putting in the foreground of in reality that the actors can touch is pretty astounding for a TV show. It's really really beautiful.
I mean, I feel like they just need to open that up at Hollywood Studios or something. Like they built the whole dang town. Like it really does look.
Do we know where they filmed it?
I don't. But it's really fleshed out. And yeah, it's funny. I told my wife. Pinewood. Okay.
Pinewood
Interesting.
Studios.
I told my wife after we finished the 3 episodes, and I sort of said like, this show has no desire to like push anything on me quickly. Like This pace is nothing from Disney. And it's weird because this morning we watched She-Hulk and I'm like, this is entirely, and it should be a totally different thing, but like the pacing and like both shows are about 30, 40 minutes and they're both like doing completely different, like things. I'm not saying that's a problem. I'm just saying that Andor is like, well, the main thing you're going to get out of this episode is that he's worried. And that's it.
Yeah.
Like that's it. That's your
Yeah.
big thing. Like it's really toned down. Not a lot of stakes to start with. I think that's why they released the 3 episodes because
Not a lot of pew pew pew. Not a lot of.
No.
No. Well, they have 24 episodes apparently, so
Yeah.
they have the time to
and they're
get us through it.
skipping years. I don't know if it's every 3 episodes or every couple.
Yeah.
Or if
Well,
it's
this is 5 years before Rogue One, so
yeah. And I think they do some jumps over time. I think they kind of
Okay.
get him more
Oh,
involved.
is that what that meant on the title card? BB. Oh,
Yep.
Battle before the Battle of Yavin, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what that means? So it's 5 years before. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mhm.
But one other thing that I really liked was I love like the little characters, the niche little characters like Babu Frick. I love them. They're so cute. But I liked how the characters, the side characters in this just felt very like real. Like it was like real
Lived in.
people, very lived in, and like it was like actual characters that I really could get like 2 words out of and that could actually enjoy and want to learn more about.
Yeah.
So
And weirdly, the Empire's not in the show yet. I don't think that's a spoiler. Like they're
Yeah.
too bothered with other things.
Mhm.
And so like this is a security division that's sort of like, well, we're going to take care of it. And that way the Empire doesn't have to. But the people inside of that security division, some of them you're like, oh, this is prime like British brute Empire people. Like it's just that square jaw face. There's a guy who ends up, I don't know if he's in the first episode, Dave, but ends up sort of helping the guy you meet in the first episode who really cares.
Yeah.
So that guy has a real like, he's not British, but he's like, you know, he has
looks
that
it.
power. He has that power hungry vibe going real hard. But the guy he meets kind of looks like, you know, I think he's Scottish, right? And he's, you know, like, good job, sir. Like he's like just, and you're like, oh, you just look like a guy from the 70s in Britain. Like
Sure.
it's just the right look. And I feel like this show really did
Yeah.
a good job on that sort of
Yeah.
look. I love B2 EMO. He's great. He's a cute
Cute.
robot. I like chunky robots that talk. We've never seen, I think, a small robot talk.
You know what his reminds me of? What his design reminding me of? The first thing hit my brain. He looks like Bob from the black hole.
Oh yeah, 100%. I totally
Like
see
a
that.
rolling version rather than a flying version.
Yeah, I love
With
it.
the little red top hat on, you know.
and he gives us full conversation too. Like it's not just a little beep beep, you know.
No.
Yeah.
It's like it's a full conversation.
He stutters a little bit because he's old.
It's so cute.
It's cute.
Yeah.
But it's cute in like an endearing way. Now, yeah, there is no like, you know, I kind of, I don't know. I liked Kenobi, but like, you know, Leia had her like none of the let me put it like this. None of the creatures or the robots we've met so far in Andor scream, we're gonna sell this at the Disney store. Like that, none of it doesn't. It's a
Yeah.
big chunky robot, and it's all
It is-
very right.
There's
for
no merch for this show. I can't
It
see
is
them making
not a
cute merch.
toyetic show at all. There's
Yeah.
No.
there's not, no, this thing is, it would be like, you know, it's why you don't see a lot of toys about kids' toys about like, you know, Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, because
Right.
it is that kind of tone. It is,
Mhm.
it's not, I don't think it's quite going to get to that. They're not quite ready to do that level of violence, but
No.
it's, well, you guys saw, should we talk about that stunt clip? This is something else, that stunt clip that came out for,
for Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
So cool.
That was nuts. That was pure 100% gore. Like that was a horror movie. She makes a guy decapitate himself, and then uses the decapitated body as a weapon. And it's like, what?
So
But
this
you can-
was a stunt. This was a stunt reel, like a previs for the stunt for what Wanda would have done to the security guards in Multiverse of Madness, and yeah, it was.
Yeah.
They
Dana,
should
I'm
have
not
gone
going
that far.
If you haven't seen it online, look it up. It made me very happy because I remember hearing that, oh, this one's going to be like the first Marvel horror movie. Everybody heard that real early on. I thought, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. And it was rainy enough to be kind of spooky and fun, but like they're not ready to do an actual R-rated movie.
Yeah.
This would have been that.
That would have been it. Very much. I was like, oh, that was Raimi.
That scene was bananas and brutal.
Yeah,
Even in
it was really
previs,
cool.
it was like, ah!
Yeah, I forget truly. But yeah, I liked Andor. I think we all did.
Yeah.
There's a great moment in the third episode. I won't ruin it for you, Dave. It literally is two people talking, but it's just Sarah. You might remember it's the old gentleman talking to the guy that ends up being the buyer.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and they just talk about.
They're just chill.
It's just like
I love
they're
it.
looking out the window and talking about. I remember when this place was like this, and I'm like, wait, are we just talking? Like, are we just gonna
Yeah.
take some time and
Get
have
to
a
know the character.
conversation?
What?
I love it. I love
Yeah.
It's
it.
great.
You love to see it. It's and it
Mhm.
for me, it's paying off what they bought in Star
100%.
Wars as a brand. Like,
Yeah.
fine, love or hate the trilogy. They're not great. I love Last Jedi. I'm on that camp,
Mhm.
because it was going somewhere different. And it's like, and Mandalorian even went a little different. It felt like the older movies, but it went down this sort of gunslinger Western route. Like the
Yeah.
things that are making me perk up are like, how do we take what we love about Star Wars, which is the lived-in world, the knowledge of like it's about space travel on other planets and other cultures, and that it's a very very broad good guys and bad guys fascist story. Like now we're onto something like
Mhm.
a spy thriller. Yes, please. This
Yeah.
is exactly what I was hoping for,
Yeah. I mean, the best stuff you mentioned Mandalorian, the best stuff is when it's trying to be lone wolf and cub, it's amazing.
It's
And when
great.
it's like, here's Luke Skywalker, I'm kind of like, okay, like
Yeah,
fine, I
okay.
guess. Like
Yeah,
I know
and
that's the stuff people kind of drool over, but this is why like my big thing is like I desperately want a Days of Thunder pod racing TV series. Like I just want like a full on like
that is
Formula
a
One.
fantastic idea.
Yeah, I want like give me a sports Star Wars show now. Like do like
Yeah.
change it up. So I any direction they want to go that's like outside the realm, I'm for it. So
Well,
the
it
Andor's
feels
that
like
for sure.
it feels like with Obi-Wan and Luke showing up in Mandalorian, it feels like there's some box checking that they've done, which is like, let's tie that in a nice bow. There you go, we're done. Right? Like in
Mhm.
terms of tying to the original stuff.
Mhm.
It feels now like there is enough out there that they can do that. Like you couldn't have started with Andor as a show 5 years ago,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
open
Oh,
Disney
yeah,
Plus
no.
with it. You know what I mean? They had to lay
Yeah.
the groundwork of what episodic Star Wars could be.
And we forget
Um,
how revolutionary Mandalorian was.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it really did. Like we kind of all perked up and went, "Oh, this is different," because it was.
Yeah, because it was.
So, and now
Yeah,
it's such a vein of Star Wars that's in the theme parks. I mean, like that's
Yeah,
like
right.
that's how you know it's part of the
Right.
the culture.
Is that in yet? Can we go see that tomorrow?
Should
Not-
be. I
Is
think
it
so.
already? I thought
No.
November,
Hulk
no?
is in.
Hulk is in
Yeah.
now. We can see Hulk.
You
Hulk
can go
is
see
in, but
Hulk.
Mandalorian comes out in November.
The Hulk that doesn't know what to do with his hands. He's
Yeah,
It's
big
so
Hulk.
bad.
Big Hulk
should-
man.
I'm glad
Which,
it's
I don't know,
limited.
did anyone else watch the as I call it now, the very big classic TV series I Think You Should Leave on Netflix, the sketch show?
I saw some of it.
There's a
It's
great
pretty good.
sketch where they're doing a prank. And the prank is he's going to dress up like this old guy and go into a mall and prank people. But the costume's way too huge and it's just like suffocating him. And he just kind of stands there and he's like, I'm too hot. I can't do anything. Like, I don't know if I want to be here anymore. And that's what that costume reminds me of every time. It's just this like the person size, just like, I can't. I'm tired of
Yeah,
hearing Mark
yeah.
Ruffalo's voice. So
That's the best way to put it. Like
Yeah.
he really just moves like that.
speaking
but I
of
think-
chaos, Sarah,
Oh yes,
we
oh
have
my
plenty.
gosh, my
we have lots of
favorite-
chaos. We need to
My
keep moving
favorite
on here.
topic.
Beware
Yes,
our guest.
beware our guests. So we're gonna start off with I guess you could say that this is the most tame, maybe at all of them.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
uh,
so.
Yeah. So there on August 27th, a man tried to surf in the water fountain right outside of the Lime Garage
Mm-hmm.
in Disney Springs. He was obviously escorted out. Don't know what his motives were. Probably for a TikTok.
Social media clout. Yep.
He did do
Probably.
this somewhere else as well.
Yes,
earlier.
he did it at the Marriott. No, the Hilton.
The Hilton.
The Hilton. So he did try this at the Hilton. But yeah, he gross for you to step into that fountain. Very
Gross.
nasty.
I thought this was a marketing scheme by Ron John. Ron John Surf Shop
Yeah.
is literally
Right
next
outside.
door.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought, oh, okay, this is when I first saw it, I was like, the security guard's in on it. Like this is a photo op because the guy's like part of Ron John or something.
I
which
mean,
thought,
the way
okay,
the
that's
guy,
creative.
the way the guy looks with the shaggy hair, I thought it was a reboot of Encino Man.
It
or
totally
something,
does
right?
look like Encino Man. Yeah. Yeah. He's got dreads and
Yeah.
it's
He
something.
committed to the role, you know, like he really did commit to the vibe, had the binoculars and everything, but didn't work out. So I hope he got his little video, but please don't
Yeah.
jump into the water
I
fountains.
mean, we're
They're
talking about him.
nasty.
So it worked.
It's
Congrats,
true.
man.
You made it. You made it.
You made it to the
Rat
echelons
Castle.
of this podcast.
Yeah. So next up, and this one, oh my god, just
Woof.
brace yourselves for this one,
This is a
people.
beautiful one.
This was in Epcot literally this weekend, where a woman basically different angles of this entire situation happening. It was in Epcot, and there was a woman, her, I'm guessing husband and her daughter were also taking part in this situation. It starts off with a bunch of videos in TikTok where she is just belligerent, just drunk, wasted. Like, I don't even know you could get that drunk, kind of wasted at Epcot. And she basically, it started off in the UK pavilion, and she is seen arguing with Disney security and the sheriffs. And she is put into a wheelchair and then wheeled out by her husband. And this entire time she's just yelling and telling people, you can't do this to me. Like, she's telling the cops that you have a right to take her to jail and that she wants to go to jail.
That's weird.
And it's so weird. And she then, while they're pushing her in the wheelchair, managers are like escorting her out, and there's a bunch of people following her with their phones to get videos.
Yeah, they
of
don't
this
take her in
entire
the back.
situation.
They never take her in the back.
They take her through the whole park.
Yeah,
The
it's a
whole park.
parade. It almost
Yeah.
counts as this is the 40th
100%.
celebration parade for Epcot.
It
This is this drunk lady in a wheelchair.
It really is, though. But she's getting wheeled out by her husband, whoever the man in this equation. She's getting wheeled out by him, and the entire time she is either using her foot to stop the wheelchair from going because she doesn't want to leave, or she falls on the ground and is yelling at people and yelling at the police and the managers.
Screaming and cussing.
Oh,
Like, pretty bad. The videos are awful. It's a whole saga.
Yeah.
And then she gets to a point where I'm guessing her daughter is punching her and slapping her to stop her from attacking the police officers. Yeah, like and then finally gets to the very front of the park, and she gets off of the wheelchair and she falls to the ground and makes a bigger scene, shouting things like, no, you will not do this to me. And then someone's yelling at her, lady, like, go. When she was in the wheelchair, she was looking up at the man and telling him to look her in the eyes and that she loves him. It's a whole mess. Like,
Well, as I said before we started recording, this doesn't feel like being drunk at Epcot. This feels like being drunk on medication you're not supposed to be drunk at Epcot.
or alcohol poisoning. Like,
I mean,
that's bad.
Wild.
Like, we've all seen drunk people. That, like, social media has just shown it off more, but drunk people at Epcot is nothing new. I mean,
No.
but to this level, it's like and I'm one of those people who watches clips like that. I don't necessarily laugh. I feel really bad for her.
it's sad.
It's
Yeah.
really sad. Like, first of all, who gets drunk at? I mean, to get drunk at Epcot is really expensive.
Yeah. Well, then
That
that's
drunk.
why
Unless she
everyone's
was
belligerent. It's because they get mad at how much they just spend on alcohol.
Right? Yeah, right. Either that
Yeah.
or she's pre-gaming in her room with, like, cheap vodka from
Probably.
yeah. I just don't. Look, I've been a little tipsy in that park. We all have, but I can't understand how your bank account could handle it. It's
Right.
just that's a lot of money.
I feel bad for the people that are with her, because
Yeah.
like, these people probably just
Yeah.
wanted a nice chill vacation, and she came and just bulldozed right over it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how
Yeah.
you do not get banned from an event like this.
Well, and for me, and for any of these circumstances to deal with liquor at this point, because this feels like liquor, not beer. I mean, this is
liquor. Like, you went crazy, top shelf.
Yeah.
Like,
But I sort of feel like Disney has every capability to assign you an amount that you can buy on your reservation or your ticket.
yeah.
And even if you were Miss Sneaky and you could you're like, okay, everyone can get 4 or whatever, or if it's like even by the hour. I mean, this system is so good, apparently it can do all these amazing things. Well, then allow people to only get a drink an hour, or something. You can
Right.
you can do anything like that if you really want to. And
Yeah.
even if someone's sneaky and has someone get them a drink, like they still can't go over a certain amount. It would be kind of impossible. But Disney's never going to do this because
No.
they have decided that what matters more is making $1 than presentation. And
$15. The drink is
yeah,
the drink is
and
$15.
I do not fall in line with people who are like, Walt Disney never wanted liquor at his parks.
Yeah.
But I do think that Walt Disney saw these kind of people at amusement parks and went, no, I don't want to do that. I want
Yeah.
something that's a little better. And that's why he created what he created in the first place. And we've sort of just allowed, I don't know, the loud greed to say like, well, have as much booze as you want. And I think people should have self-responsibility, but I just think at the end of the day, like, you kind of come to these places so you don't have to be responsible, right? Like, the idea is you just get on rides and you buy food and you hang out. And so, it's okay if the system was used in some sort of way for moderate restriction. If it made
It's a
for
safety issue.
it's
It
a
really,
safety,
it really
100%.
is. Like
And-
constantly, we're seeing people getting into fights, like situations with families, like domestic situations, and not saying that like alcohol is the reason for all of this, but
Right.
it is the common denominator a lot of the time.
I mean,
And I think, like you said, like they really do need to track it and make sure that this is something that's dealt with. Will it happen? Probably not.
No,
I mean that there's a perfect use of your magic band, right? Like
100%.
Right?
it tracks how much booze. It's not hard to do, like
no.
even bars have 2-drink minimums, but that relies on the bartender remembering your face. You
Yeah.
can't do that at
Exactly.
at
And
park
if you're
scale.
drinking around the world, like you're gonna be going to all
Well,
these different spots.
Right, and during all the food and wine festivals now, you see these packs of people with like
Yeah.
boozy T-shirts on,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh, it's so basic. But all right, you're gonna drink. People are gonna do it. It's not. This is gonna continue to happen. But I agree that I think they could very easily manage it a little better.
Yeah. You want to impress me, Josh, tomorrow? Do that. Don't give me blueprints. Do something like that. Actually care
Yeah.
about the culture.
Yeah.
You know what? I think this next one's the one I'm most mad about. Sarah.
I
Oh,
hate this one. I
this
hate
one
this
makes me
with
want to flip a table.
passion.
Yeah.
Because a basic ass bitch wanted to be cute and wanted to do something. I hate it. I hate people
Sounds
like
about
this.
white.
It
Yeah.
really does. And I didn't want to push
Mhm.
it there. And you know what's so funny today when I
No.
was talking about this? My partner was like, why do you say white with such vitriol? And I was like, it's not like that.
Because of girls like this.
Because of girls like
look,
this.
I'm a cis white guy, but like
Yeah.
this sounds about white.
The
Yeah.
McKaylins of the world. I'm telling y'all. Okay, the McKaylins of the world. Okay. Anyways, so we don't know her. I don't know her name, but this girl, she ends up posting a video of her jumping over the barricade into the living room scene in Space Mountain, in the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And she, first of all, the shoes are ugly, girl. The purple dunks are not cute. They're not cute. I don't know what she thought it was. But she just jumps over and she just like over the exit ramp and she just jumps over into the scene and takes a seat at the table. Again, social media clout. It was a TikTok, got her a couple views. I hope she's happy and I hope she gets banned.
The good, yeah, I mean, it just made me absolutely fucking furious. All of the ones that are for social media clout in the parks. Even the surfboard, like at least that's not in a ticketed location. Not that it excuses it, but like
Right.
within the parks, there's just a line that you've crossed about entitlement that drives me insane. But the only good thing out of it is if you read the comments, she got ratioed and dragged for it.
Because it's not cute. It's
It
not
ain't
cute.
cute,
I don't
girl.
know what you
No.
think it was. It really was not what it didn't give. Let me just say that. There's
I
so
just
many
wish
other
we still
places
had a
you could get
moving
photo.
platform because she would have tried to get up there and she would have fallen on her ass.
That would have been
And
so funny.
I just wish that was still around.
We need to start shaming people. Bring shaming back. It
Shame
needs
is
to happen.
great. Let's use
shame
it
is
for
wonderful.
everything. It's
Like-
great for presidents. It's great for TikTokers.
Let's have some decorum, people.
Let's
some
have good-
respect.
some
Like-
good positive shame, right? I'm not
Yes.
talking about bad shame. I'm talking about good, don't do this stuff in public.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Let's-
it's something.
Let's not be embarrassing. Let's walk around with some class, yeah?
Embarrassing.
Okay, next one. The next one. This
See, that's
one
why I
think
gave it
is
to you. I knew
so-
you'd get all
Oh
heated
my
about this
gosh,
one.
something about what like oh my god, white women sometimes y'all, you just it gets me heated sometimes. Sometimes it gets me heated. I'm just kidding. Moving on. So there's a family that snuck in a big ass child into this kid.
A big child.
It's
And I love that whoever
big-
was filming them used the TikTok sound of they're gonna know.
Yeah,
Nobody's
they're-
gonna know.
It's
Nobody's gonna know.
crazy. Like this
Yeah.
kid was literally stuffed into a baby seat, like a baby car
Mhm.
seat.
With a big
in there.
like
This is not a toddler. It's like a 5-year-old.
It's
Yeah.
a child.
who
Like,
I mean it's fully covered. The sunshade is like fully down.
mm-hmm.
And they try to
They look very
push her through
uncomfortable.
like Moses in the basket. They're just
Crazy.
And you know what?
for
She
it.
got through. She got through. I
Did you-
respect the hustle. You know, it's
Right.
getting expensive, but maybe
Yeah.
don't post it.
But maybe
Yeah.
don't like open the so she gets through and then she immediately opens the thing and the kid bounces right
Bounces
out.
like
Should've
right in
just
the
gone
middle
to
of
the bathroom.
Main Street. Right, go,
Yeah.
like, go. There's a bathroom right to the right. I know right
Yeah.
where she's at. Go down that little walkway. Do it back there.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I don't think she was filming it. I think it was somebody else that was like on to her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well, how
so
could you
The
not
kid
be?
looks huge. Like
no,
in there sucking its thumb. Like be for real. Like
I
get
love
your
that the
ass out
kid
of there.
was that she told the kid suck your thumb to try to
100%.
sell it. You know what I mean?
100%. And you know what? I'm not gonna say who, but I know someone who I have worked with who lives down here, and they tried to pull this stunt, and they're like,
Did it work?
I don't know, but they were like, yeah, we're borrowing the stroller from my cousin because of course we don't have it anymore. And I was like, if you don't have that stroller, that's not a baby anymore. You don't. And but I like, whatever. But it was weird because like this is like a nice Christian woman. Like,
No, literally.
just a real sweet like Southern. And she's like, I am going to steal $100 and something from this park.
You know what? I
Straight
am all go
up.
for it. The
I
tickets
kind
are
of
getting
respect the
expensive.
hustle. I'm with you. I'm with you on that, Sarah.
It's really it really is like if you're gonna do it right though. You know, like don't mess it up for everybody.
100%.
Like go to the bathroom, go a little further inside the park where they don't see you.
Yeah.
Sarah, how tall are you?
Yeah. Man, you gotta expose me like that.
I don't know.
Like,
I'm 5'5".
5'1". I'm
Oh, you're
5'1".
5'1"?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
we
really
can get
short.
you- We can
I can
get
put you
I
in
think I could-
tomorrow in a. I'll
All
put
right,
you
let's
in
try.
one tomorrow and push you in.
Yeah.
An experiment. Hey, like maybe we'll film it for our first TikTok.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, like I've seen some kids that have gone through, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't look like a 3-year-old. It's,
No
it's
way.
looking a little, maybe 5 or 6. Like, but if you can pass, you can pass. Go for it.
Can you
Yeah,
imagine
yeah.
what those like gatekeepers have to like? I can only imagine the amount of. I'm not gonna tell it. I can't do this today.
It's not worth it.
No
Not worth
way.
it.
No
Let
way.
it go.
Speaking of letting it go, we're gonna let go of this podcast for this episode, ladies and gents. Thank you guys so much for coming on. This is weirdly, it's been the 3 of us, but I think it's made us chatty. It's one of the longer ones. We're
It was
like
a
an
fun
hour and a
one.
half currently.
Yeah, it was fun.
So, with that, Rat Castle is produced by me, yours truly, Nathan Hartman. Please consider subscribing so you don't miss an episode. We got merch. Check out our merch at TeePublic. You can find our merch. You can leave us questions. You can, whatever you want to do, you can get at us at bit.ly/ratcastle or check our website out at ratcastlepodcast.podbean.com. We'd love to hear from you. If you have questions or thoughts about things, whatever, we'll read it. And of course, always leave us those 5-star reviews on Apple, and we will read those as well. So thank you guys so much. And with that, grab your belongings and exit to the left.
Will you stop this foolishness?
What foolishness would you like to see?
Will you get out of here?